Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk. I'm your host, Michael Quarry, and I'm here today with my guest that I have not seen in quite some time, Miss Andrea Fairweather of Fairweather Faces. How have you been?
I'm very good. Thank you.
Good,
Thanks for having
good.
me.
As we were saying before we had to cut again, what were we talking about? Like how many years we've known each other, right?
Yeah, we were saying that, well, actually, you were one of the first to interview me.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe at that time it was the second year of Fairweather Faces.
Right.
And now we're in the 20th
Yeah,
year. So this is pretty significant.
yeah. And and you're still residing in Brooklyn.
Yes.
And we're
Oh,
both
I'm
in
Brooklyn down.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, anybody can tell me. I'm definitely
Oh, yeah, I love
Brooklyn
Brooklyn.
down. Okay, good deal. All right, so let me just get to it. Let's say someone wants to be a makeup artist. What would be the first? Walk us through the process. How does one go from being a novice to intermediate to professional? How does one go through that process?
I find that nowadays the process is vast. There are various options to do it. Not like back in the day when someone would have a notion to become a makeup artist, they would just go to beauty school.
Right.
And then from beauty school, if you were lucky, you would then maybe do film, Broadway, print magazines, and that was about it. What you have right now is social media, which is a huge platform
Right.
in various ways. And what social media allows a person to do is they can bypass beauty school, which most do. And what they do is they look at YouTube and they practice on themselves. And if they have a niche about it, they can build their own following and make themselves a star.
Right.
So that's like one way that is really in the forefront of it. The other way is a bit old school. If someone is really looking to make it a long-term career, then they'll go the other route, which is to choose a beauty school,
Right.
accredited beauty school, do that, and from there figure out which is their strength. Is it beauty? Is it special effects? Because you can really make a living at doing special effects makeup for all these uh, like monster movies, horror
Right,
films, those
right.
type of things, and it's lucrative. It's a lucrative career. The other side of it is still beauty, in terms of getting on television, working with celebrities, doing a lot of magazine work, print. So there are various avenues one can go, and then the final one was the way that I did it,
Right.
which was I was an artist always. I was a dancer and an actress, and then from there, makeup artist by way of going to the cosmetic department stores and honing my
Right.
talents that way.
Did you work with someone who was your mentor, or you just kind of like just started working on people? Who
I
you knew?
started working on folks because I was doing it anyway. I was, like I said before, I was a dancer, so I was doing performance makeup for stage and headshots.
Right, right.
Doing it for myself, and then my friends liked my work, so I started doing it for them. But then after that, once I got into the department stores, I did have various angels around me that gave me advice. Once I started to share what my dream was
Right,
for
right.
Fairweather Faces, it wasn't established yet because there was no blueprint for it. It was literally built from the ground up. But I had folks come around me like Audrey Smaltz, who's a living legend to this day in the fashion industry. Audrey was the voice for Ebony Fashion Fair.
Okay.
She was the commentator for all the fashion shows, excuse me, around the country. And she was a print model herself, starting off in Harlem at the age of 18, I believe, very young. And also had Harriet Cole,
Right.
which Harriet is in the media. She was the one that really helped me fundamentally with the business side. I don't even think she realizes that, but helped me just to watch her, the way she would work her business and work with her clients, so I could understand just the sensibilities of it.
Right, right, right.
I also had later on, I was very fortunate to work with Judith Jamison, who at the time was the artistic director for Alvin Ailey,
Alvin Ailey, right,
American
right.
Dance Theater. And the reason she was so significant was I started off as a dancer and I trained at Ailey. And I used to watch her on stage and be mesmerized by watching her and wishing that at first I said I wanted to work with her. I didn't say how, but just wishing
You
oh, I
knew
wish I
something
could
you
work-
wanted to do with
right,
her.
I
Right,
could work
right.
with her. And then I was fortunate enough to graduate from the High School of Performing Arts.
Okay.
So from there, I went to school with many talented young people and still remain friends
Good.
with them to this day.
Good.
And one of them was Troy Powell, who I actually danced a duet with in our senior dance concert. He was the one that really went the farthest in terms of dance in our class. And he is now the director of the Ailey 2
Okay.
company. He's the one that was the direct contact to get me in to work with Miss Jamison, and I was her makeup artist for, I would say, at least a good 7 years. She
Open doors. Just affiliation, yeah. Yeah. I know.
can't even, Michael, I can't even tell you. Like, she just,
Yeah.
this is a woman that is walking truth. She showed me how you have to be, when you walk in a room, you have to command it. You have to have a strong presence, but you're not overbearing. You're
Right.
humble, but yet you're graceful. I watched her. She showed me how to do that, how to get on that stage and command it. I already had the training from school, but to see someone actually live it and breathe it,
Right, right.
and be a legend, and allow me to come into her world was
Yeah.
beyond anything I could
Beats
even
any course, any
comprehend.
time, any school. I
Yes.
know. There was a makeup artist that I met about, I don't know, back in the early 90s when I started out as an actor. And I ran into her a couple of times. And I remembered her because she was only one of the few black makeup artists that worked on shows that I worked on, like Law and Order and all these other shows. So I stopped her, and she kind of remembered me, but I remembered her because just the way how she went around and did everybody's makeup. And I said to her, "What are you doing now?" And she says, "Well, she's doing ministry work." So I was like, "Well, do you think you might want to get into it?" She goes, "No, I think I'm done with that." She says she met her call. And so the reason why I'm bringing that up is that, what do you think? See, this whole makeup industry as a whole is new to me. I know makeup goes well with actors and all that stuff, but the intricacies, that's what I'm trying to figure out, because I've always had an interest in that. Now, I don't know about if I'm going to be a makeup artist. I mean, my whole thing is to slap some powder on you and call it a day, but is there an organization for black makeup artists out there that we don't know about, that you know about, that maybe someone started or
No.
didn't complete it?
No.
Do you think there should be one? Just so that there's a pool of makeup artists of color who can cater to people of color.
Right. Yeah, I know exactly. And this is a very good question. I like where you're going with it. Let me just say this. I can't say no directly because I really don't know for certain. There may be one that I'm not aware of. I can tell you that I've had numerous conversations with other colleagues of us venting to each other of things that we experience within the industry, experiences that we have that we just have to share. Because going back to what you mentioned about, well, you may think it's just like slapping powder. It's so much more than that.
Yeah.
It's beyond just being an artist, because you have to know how to paint. Basically, you're painting someone's face. It is overall, being a makeup artist overall is a service. It's being a servant to someone. You have to have an open heart and an open mind to be willing to serve. So it's not where you go in and you think, oh, I'm going to be the star. Like, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to work on a celebrity, and somehow, some way, I'm going to be discovered and they'll pull me in the forefront.
Right.
That's not what it is. It's more for someone that wants to see someone else shine. You are there as the support team to beautify someone else,
Right.
which will in turn lift their spirit, which will in turn give them the confidence to get out in front of that camera or on that stage,
Right.
and be able to hit it and deliver.
Right.
And so you are a part of the cloak, a part of the network that completes the performance. Is really what it is. So it's so much more than just thinking like, oh, I'm gonna beat that face. That's a cute way of saying it.
Right,
It's a very
right.
vogue thing,
Right.
but it's a very base thinking.
Right. It's like you
of
have to
what
go
it is.
beyond that thinking.
It's beyond that,
Right.
because I am I'm a wife first, right? I'm a wife first. I'm a sister. I'm a girlfriend. But I'm also a makeup artist, a therapist, you know, a wardrobe person,
Jack of all trades, right?
You know, makeup for body makeup.
Right.
I do. So, there's so many pieces that are involved. Oh, I get the coffee. I fix, you know, fix the skirt hem. There's so many pieces that are involved to being a makeup artist. It's not just one thing, but you have to be willing
Right.
to be open, and you have to be a vice grip with the mouth.
Right.
That's another thing that helps with longevity in this business.
In other words, see something but don't say something right away. Or
You
can
cannot.
say, but you can say it, but you can't say what you really want to say. Is what you're saying, right?
I'm saying all those things.
Okay.
I'm saying you
All
can't.
right.
You can see something, not say anything.
Right.
You can see something, not have an opinion on it. You can see something and need to go to bed with that secret for the rest of your life. I'm saying that it is a coveted position to be able to do makeup on anyone, first of all, because in my mind, all of the clients that Fairweather Faces has ever worked with, being a working person that's a secretary to royalty to a celebrity, it never mattered to us. What mattered was the fact that they allowed us into their home, office, or location and chose us to provide the service.
Right.
What I'm saying is, in order to stay there,
Yeah.
in order to stay and have longevity the way we have, is because we were a vice grip and never spoke about what we saw.
Right.
And I find that a lot of this generation that's coming into it and discovering that, wow, you know, I could really have a lucrative career with makeup. Well, there's a whole nother side besides just really being cute
Right.
or really knowing how to do a nice beat. There's another side to it. It's a business, yes, but it's also a spiritual side.
Right.
And you have to know how to game face very well. You have to know how to just see things and not be moved by them. You have to know etiquette, stage etiquette,
Right.
backstage etiquette, all that etiquette in order to deliver it and for them to want you around.
Right.
They can tell if you can
They
handle
want to
it.
know that you're somebody that they can trust.
Exactly, and they can
basically.
figure it out.
Right.
They can really figure it out, and you know.
Right. I have a question for you. It just popped into my head. All right. Some of these young girls out here got on like 4 tons of makeup.
Oh!
Where you going with all this makeup on? I have no idea. So what do you think? Why do you think all of a sudden now these 17, 16-year-old girls are putting on all this ton of makeup? Not to mention the weave, the fingernails, sometimes several fingernails.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you make
Yeah.
about all that? Because I'm like looking at this girl. I'm like, she looked like she's about 30, but then again, what comes out of that mouth says 17.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
what do you think about that?
Yeah,
mean,
I have
like,
this conversation often
Yeah.
with friends of mine, and they'll ask me or make a comment about it. What it is once again is the social media.
Yeah.
Social media is very influential in a lot of ways, and one of the things is most times these makeup lessons, these tutorials that are online, are cookie cutter. Is just the best broad term that I can use to describe it, where it's just this one look that's being replicated over and over that does not fit every face, really is not, it just doesn't, some of them can do good makeup,
Right.
but a lot of them can't. I'll just say it that way. Some can do good makeup and are naturally talented, but some can't. And when you constantly replicate something that from the beginning was never the right way, or just in the end doesn't look the best, then you can influence a generation to think that that's the way to go.
Right.
And so what happens is it transfers from the screen into real life, and it looks like a mask.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like skin. It looks like a
Just
mask.
looks
It
caked
doesn't
on.
look like an
Right.
eyebrow. It looks like
Right.
Groucho Marx. It doesn't look like a chiseled, nice contoured cheek and jawline. It looks like contoured down drag queen. It just it looks. I'm being for
Yeah,
real. Like
I
it
know.
just it's just too
And
much.
some, I
and
mean,
it doesn't
all right.
transfer to the natural
Beauty.
beauty of what a celebrity would want,
Right.
because a celebrity wouldn't wear that.
Right.
And they aspire to do makeup for celebrities because they want to be a celebrity. That's just the truth.
Right,
Most
right.
of these kids that have these high numbers with YouTube are considered celebrities because they have so many followings, and that's great. But if you really want to be able to get in and work with those celebrities and such, you have to alter the way you do makeup so that it works for everyone. It's not just this one way that you do a face. It just doesn't work in all mediums.
About, I don't know, maybe about 1990. I remember Indian, I don't want to say West Indian, but Indian women. It's like it was two skin tones. They had their skin tone, I had the makeup skin tone. And I know at that time they were having a problem trying to match the skin tone with the Indian. Now I'm starting to see more Indian women, this face is even. So what do you think finally the makeup industry or cosmetic industry finally realized that yes, there's more than just a Caucasian skin out there. There's different hues. And how do you feel about, or what do you think about the commercials now that they're featuring more women of color on TV? That's a good step in the right direction, right?
It had to happen. It was an evolution that had to happen. Yes, I agree with you that back in the 90s, actually the early 90s, we just weren't present.
Right.
We weren't having visuals. We weren't included in visuals, be it commercial or print. The foundations, I remember having to struggle and be like a chemist or an alchemist at the makeup counter trying to mix and
Right.
but very early on I was working at the Bobbi Brown counter, and she was one of the first that started to have foundations that included yellow in it, yellow base. And the yellow base is a pretty universal tone, undercurrent tone to use in the foundation. So she was one of the first to have a breakthrough in that market, and that's why she did really well with it. Made it easier for us to sell and to match. I was able to sell like hot cakes because I had foundations and colors that were wearable for us, and so I just knew how to mix and sell well. What I found in the early 2000s was the shift starting to come visually, where you started to see more African American models come in first, closer to in terms of skin tone from the Caucasian. Then you start to move it into the Latina, so you started to see Jennifer Lopez.
Right.
When you started to hit with the celebrities. Then from Jennifer Lopez, it started to move to like Kerry Washington and Angela Bassett, who's in a different category in terms of age, but which I thought was so smart was to not negate the women that are a more mature age that still looked amazing and were still out there and being fabulous, that there's a market for that. And I thought that they were really smart doing that. Then they switched and turned around, and then you saw like more of like Alec Weck and these darker skin models. And I know that she came in before them, but I'm just saying in terms of evolution in print, then you started to see that skin tone, which is like just deep chocolate mocha, gorgeous, right?
I know.
Undertones. But even though it was there in print, we really didn't see it so much.
It was always in the back.
The foundations, right? It was still in the back. But then the switch started coming when social media really started taking over, and folks could market themselves and on YouTube
without having to rely on the powers that be.
Right. And had more of a voice and started actually speaking out and go, well, where's my foundation? Where's my color? And then the evolution had to come because the companies had to listen and had to pay attention. These are your consumers. They're doing these videos that are getting all these numbers, these high volume numbers. And if you want to partner with them, you have to create a product that they can use and work on, because fundamentally they're going to sell that product for you on social media. They're going to get high numbers and get work from social media, and you're going to get high sales because they're pushing it for you. They're making it seem cute and showing the clients the viewers how to work it on social media. So it was a win-win really for both sides. So it was something that had to happen. Realistically, I mean, we were waiting for so
Right,
long
right,
anyway.
right.
But also, it's gorgeous. And so the heavy hitter right now is Miss Rihanna, that came out with this line with like all 40 shades of foundation, where she hit like every single undertone
Right.
and color. And the girl made like, I believe it was like 70 million, not even a year,
On
in a
makeup.
month,
On
like
makeup.
a month.
Right.
Yeah.
You do you know that what's that woman's name? I can't remember. Was on the tip of my tongue. Hollywood actress from back in the day, Lena Horne.
Oh yeah,
You know they had problems trying to find makeup for her
I'm sure they did.
because she was the first one, I think, that yeah, they had problems. And I remember I read it somewhere that it was such a hard time just to get the skin tone for her and stuff.
And we wouldn't
Yeah.
really know it because back
No.
then it was black and white
What-
film.
so you really
So
couldn't
you
tell.
wouldn't really know. Had it been in color, you would see it more. Like in Good Times, for example.
Right.
I watched Esther Rolls Foundation,
Mm-hmm.
and it looked very gray, and that's what it was at the time. With like the rosy cheek blush, that gray overcast in it. It's she had to wear what they had
Yeah.
because it just wasn't.
Right. Right.
It just wasn't there for us. We were an afterthought.
Well, you know what? Times have changed.
Yes, they have.
You've changed. I've changed. We've matured. We've gotten into our own space. Where are you now in terms of your business? Where do you see it going 5 years from now? What do you hope to conquer? I
My
know at
goal-
some point I'm going to hire you to do my own makeup.
Oh,
know
yes, I
that.
will. I
Right
will.
now, I just can't afford you. Maybe one cheek, but not both
You
cheeks.
are funny.
I don't know. But
I
we're
remember
working
you
on that.
asking me the same question
Yeah.
all those years ago, and I laughed then because I said something like, I can't even remember what I had for dinner last night,
yeah.
and I still can't. There are a number of things going on. The first is that we realized that Fairweather Faces was literally 2 decades ahead of its time. It was such an unconventional concept to be able to deliver mobile beauty services, makeup, hair, nails, and massage therapy to the masses. It didn't start off to cater to celebrities. It started off to cater to the everyday working male and female.
Right, right.
And it evolved into a business that caters to both. We're really blessed by that, to know that the dream that came to me, that God implanted in my mind and helped to flourish, has literally influenced the world in way they deliver beauty services. And I had a feeling that it would happen back then. I had a feeling that this could really be something that could help others.
Right, right.
Right? To be convenient in the way they receive their beauty services. But I did not imagine that it would influence the world, the globe, the U.S. and internationally, to turn it upside down in the way beauty services are delivered. So besides having a salon or some other outlet that you go to, it's the reverse of it. It's the artists are going to you in your home. I mean, I never thought what would be better than that
Yeah.
for someone to work around your schedule,
Traveling
come
to-
to your
yeah.
home or your office in the comforts of your environment and make you look and feel amazing, pack it up and get out. Like I thought that
Yeah.
was brilliant. People looked at me like I was nuts, like what hell what? And now it's like the thing. And so we're just with the banner and the bullhorn letting everyone know, hey, look, do you that this started in Brooklyn? I was 28 years old, and I had my team of artists that were multicultural, and I employed hundreds of artists, not just in New York, but across the country and abroad. And it is beyond amazing to know that we did that.
Right.
We were the pioneering company to do it. We're still the leaders of it. We're still evolving. We've evolved into having a product line. I never thought I would have a product line. I think you asked me 18 years ago would I do it, and I said no.
Wow.
I was like, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
Well, who knows?
Who knows? Who knew?
Right, who knew?
It's just like me and this thing called acting. You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling you earlier, I started out as an actor, but then I was like, I'm getting really tired of worrying about how I look. I mean, is my teeth okay? Did I where's that piece of gum that I think it's stuck in there, whatever. And then somehow, just through sheer, I guess, yoga, if you will, my version of yoga, ended up behind the scenes.
Right.
And I like being behind the scenes. I like putting stuff together. I mean, I still want to be in a camera. I don't know if I want to be, who knows? But this is where I need to be.
Exactly.
Behind the scenes.
And you know what's wonderful about that?
Yeah.
It's great if you allow God to just move it through
Yes.
you instead of bucking it.
Yeah.
Because
Instead of doing what you think everybody else wants you to do.
Exactly. Because
And that's boring.
it's boring, but it's also you have to be courageous to step out. And
Yeah.
not
Oh,
be
I've stepped
boxed
out
in.
several times.
Me too. Look, remember I was telling you,
Yeah.
I started off dancing and acting,
Yeah.
and I trained for that. I thought I was going to be a star. And when my career completely changed,
Yeah.
I had to really pray about that. I couldn't figure that out on my own. I had to pray.
Not to cut you, well, you're going to start some stuff up in here now. I remember I went to an audition a couple years ago, and there's an actor that I know, and we were both up for the same parts, but we were two different types. He's this, and I'm this. Fine. Right before I was to go in, he said to me, "Oh, you have something stuck in your teeth." So I'm like, "What?" So of course I ran to the bathroom. There was nothing stuck in my teeth. That was his way of
Jedi
trying
mind
to make me feel. And he did a good job of it, because I came out of there feeling this low when I went in there feeling this big. I was like, "Oh, we're not gonna have this shit no more. We're not gonna have this no more."
Right.
So I said, "What do I want to do?" So I said, think. And a good friend of mine, God rest his soul, he said to me, "Since you always like telling people what you do, which is not true, actually it is. Anyway, why don't you be a director?" And I was like, And then somehow things just evolved. And here we are.
Here we are.
You got some stuff you're working on?
Yes, I am. Like I said, we're celebrating
Right.
big time the 20th anniversary of the company. I became an inventor and patented a system,
Good.
a traveling beauty kit that shows everyone how to create the celebrity look. So it's a timeline of all my work over 25 years.
Right.
And it shows you step by step how to do it. Constantly coming out with new products. Just go to the website, fairweatherfaces.com.
I was just about to ask you,
And you
where's
can
the website?
connect with us.
Right.
You can book services through there. You can get your beauty kits, travel with them, and just stay tuned, because we're always working
Yeah.
on projects.
I want you to come back again.
I would love to.
Okay.
I would love to.
I have a tendency of banging on the table, and I can hear my director telling me, "Don't bang on the table," so I won't bang on the table ever again. All right, come back.
Thank you. I will.
All right.
Yes.
Good seeing you again.
You too. Thank you
Take
so
care.
much.
We'll be back for another edition of Let's Talk with Mike Quarry.